Hi folks, this is Adrian at 18 Echo SF. It seems like it's been forever since I made any kind of a lengthy video, actually any video at all. I did make one short one concerning the slide on my Glock, and I finally got it back, so I thought I'd explain to you. As you can see, I have a Glock 19, and the Glocks, they have cocking serrations in the back, of course, but they don't have any in the front. And because of the finish that comes standard on the Glocks, being a tenifer finish, it's very slick and making it pretty difficult to do press checks on the gun, which I am a real proponent of. So Frank Proctor at Way of the Gun for the past year or so has been doing what they call manipulation cuts on Glocks and now M&Ps as well, I believe. And I decided to have it done. I didn't want to get the large, let me pick this up. I didn't want to get the large cuts like on the rear. I wanted something a bit smaller. And they had these, I think they may have even stopped them, but they have these small manipulation cuts that you can see that run on both sides, of course, of the slide. And you won't be able to see it that way, but you can get a pretty good idea of what they look like. Let me get this pen out of the way. And the purpose, of course, let me rack this. The purpose of this is to be able to grab this section right here of the slide and at least do, a small slide back so you can check, the chamber and make sure that a round is chambered and ready to go. Or if you're not sure if it has anything in there, that's even more important, which is what I do every time I pick a gun up. So I had them done. The price was fantastic with the nitride finish, which I'll explain in a second. It wound up being about $100, I think with shipping, $195 total. Really well worth it for the purpose because you can grab the slide pinch it in a way with your fingers and slide back, or you can come up, and you can come up over the top, kind of what Frank does when he kind of racks the slide, and you can move it back. So, I'm really pleased with the work, and I don't know how much you'll be able to see here, but they did a fabulous job. The machining is perfect, and then you have a choice of either a Cerakote finish, which happened to be a little bit more expensive than black nitride, even though the black nitride takes longer because they have to send it out to a company that finishes things in that finish, and that's what I chose. So I took the gun out today. I just got the gun back about 2 days ago, and I took it out to the range and tried the cuts, and it works just fabulous. So I'll put a little link below to Way of the Gun. It's really a great company. I've mentioned before, Frank Proctor is a former United States Army Special Forces and now a Grandmaster competition shooter. And, Frank and I became friendly because I'm former Army Special Forces as well, commo and weapons. And even though I come from a different generation than Frank, and he's just an awesome shooter. And I actually had hoped to take one of his performance shooting classes. I had one scheduled about a year and a half ago and had to cancel due to a health problem I was having. But I'd sure love to give it a go again. Anyway, I just thought you might be interested in seeing this. This Glock is now finished. Just again, for those of you who may not seen all of this, I changed the slide stop out, and one of Larry Vickers' magazine releases, which is a little bit larger than the standard because the standard one's about impossible to get to. And I did change out the connector and the sights. I have XS big dot sights on this gun, which I love. I've had them on a couple of guns, and So I think right now there isn't, there's nothing else I'm going to do to this pistol other than shoot it. And just briefly, I've been a 1911 guy my whole life, and I never thought that I would ever buy a Glock pistol, and because I panned them like you would not believe for a lot of years, and without having a lot of time behind one of those guns. So I never really should have thought that way, because after I finally did decide to buy this gun, I have kind of fallen in love with it. It's just it's virtually trouble-free. You can pick this gun up, do anything you want to it, and the damn thing, it's going to fire every single time, which is what I require for defensive handguns. So I'm really now a proponent of Glocks, even though Frank has switched over to the M&P, but I love this pistol. So if you have any questions or any comments, feel free to shoot me a little message, and I'll put a link in the box below to Frank's website so you can take a look at the other stuff they have. Anyway, thanks much. Stay well and safe out there, and I'll see you down the road.